I'm Little Stink Stink, the turd of time from Twitter of time. Let's meet the ToTers! Disclaimer. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding while this show grows and learns. For example, I'm so sorry the audio quality is not where it should be yet. I'm learning more every day and getting help fixing the more annoying problems. Any advice is welcome. Please feel free to DM me. Thank you again. I plop in gratitude. Hi! I'm here today with Cara Carnival, or as she's known to her friends, Marisa. Hi Marisa, how are you doing today?
Hi, little stink. I'm doing real well. Happy to see your beautiful sentient poop face.
Thank you. I have some questions to ask you today.
Question. When did you discover Twitter of Time?
I discovered Twitter of Time very recently through the Dusty Wheel. I actually didn't have a Twitter account until about 2 months ago when I tried to observe and I was like, okay, I need to be involved in this. This is absolutely chaotic and beautiful. I was really sucked in. So now I use my Twitter exclusively to interact with Twitter of Time.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So you are very new to the Twitter Prime community.
Yes, unfortunately, I had to avoid a lot of online community stuff because I only finished the series for my first time in December 2020.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, really new, but we are glad to have you.
Yeah.
Question. What are some of your favorite things about Twitter of Time?
Yes, all of it. I just like really appreciate everyone's sense of humor. I love that people stay in character. I love Yeah. I loved following the Ada Dane wedding. That was probably that I loved. I loved every moment of that because it was when I felt like I was officially recognized and like accepted into the community, even though I already was. It was like being in that wedding video just really, really made me feel warm and fuzzy.
I'm so glad to hear that. That was exactly the whole entire purpose to show that you are a part of our family now.
Exactly, and I'm totally happy to be.
Have you been called a dark friend by the White Cloaks yet?
I haven't achieved that status, unfortunately, but I will do my best to get there.
Yes, they tend to lurk around, so if they catch wind of you, it won't be far coming.
Can't wait.
Question. Do you have any favorite memories with people in Twitter of Time?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been here that long, so really just the wedding has been my favorite. I love any opportunity to celebrate and like commune with others, and that was just really, really fun.
Question. When did you discover the Wheel of Time?
I wow, I actually tried to pick up Wheel of Time in 2017. I remember I got an email from Tor, actually, the publishing company, and it was like, here's Eye of the World for free, like digital version. And I can't read on a laptop, so it did not go down well. Also, I was very confused by the prologue. Um,
you jump in and you're like, should I know what's happening?
I was like, wait, who are these people? What is happening? I don't understand what this series is. Why does everybody love it? Everyone keeps telling me to read it, and I just don't understand after the prologue. Which now on the reread has been like such a joy to get back to that moment. But yeah, after I finished my master's, I was very eager to like get back into reading stuff I love and not just like academic stuff. And so I dove into Wheel of Time and I am officially obsessed now. It took me 2 years to finish.
And how are you liking your first reread?
I'm on the Dragon Reborn and I'm loving my reread. It's just so nice getting being able to pick up on all these smaller details because I know like where it's headed and also what to pay attention to. And like the character, I'm getting to enjoy. I remember when I first read Dragon Reborn, I was like, where the heck is Rand? Why is Rand not in this book? I just want to read more Rand. And now I'm like, it's a Perrin chapter. Woo! Okay, so the weep for, I'm gonna butcher this, Manatherin or Manetherin, whichever you prefer. With that speech, like, I honestly only left about maybe 2 weeks before I picked up Eye of the Worlds after finishing A Memory of Light, and just like knowing, oh my God, he put this in like chapter 5, like tears, man. Tears.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, chills and tears.
Yes, and you're like, but was a part of me that was like, you bastard, you knew.
Oh, I feel that so hard. Oh,
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Question. What are some of your favorite things about the Wheel of Time?
All the things. Just kidding. I know there are flaws. I think probably Tel'aran'rhiod. I'm probably not saying that right either, but I really love mythology, and I feel like, I don't know if Robert Jordan did this intentionally, but Tel'aran'rhiod really reminds me of kind of like the fairy realm in Celtic mythology, and I just find it so magical, so expansive, and it just makes the world so incredibly unique. Just, and it raises the stakes in a really different way, and yeah, I just love how expansive and open and intricate the world is. And then of course all the character arcs I'm like heavily invested in. So
Question. Who are some of your favorite characters from the Wheel of Time?
Okay. Whew, this is hot takes. I feel like there are hot takes all the way around. I like Rand. I know that's not a popular perspective, but I given who I am and like the things I'm interested in, and you know, I'm planning on going back to school for clinical psychology, and I just really embrace, I don't know, pain in a way. So like following Rand's journey was really important for me because I was also going through like quite a bit of pain, and having that, I know everybody is not a huge fan of Zen Rand, but having that like shift in the Gathering Storm was just such a like important moment for me to like find hope in my life again. So that's why I did not mean to get that deep with Rand. Sorry.
That's a really beautiful way that he resonated with you. And I think a lot of people, unless you're in that sort of situation and can feel like know what he's going through, I get it.
Really like a very personal moment for me. And I don't know if Brandon Sanderson wrote that chapter or if Robert Jordan wrote that chapter. The style kind of looks like Brandon Sanderson. So I'm like, oh, who do I have to thank here? Both, I guess.
It would be interesting if they ever do decide to come out with a book that clearly says, this is a Brandon Sanderson part, this is a Robert Jordan part.
I would love that. And I don't think it would take away from the story for me personally, but I would just love to know like who wrote what and where it came from. I don't think that like takes away from how beautiful the series is. So outside of Rand, I pretty much like all characters. I like Egwene. I love Nynaeve. I think all of us probably love Nynaeve, but yeah, I can pretty much go with any except maybe Tuon. Yeah, I don't know. You just can't get behind slavery. I think that's the issue. Yeah.
Question. What characters do you think you resemble the most?
I don't think I've ever thought about that. Okay.
It's a tricky one.
It's a really tricky one. Because I don't want to, sound like I'm like tooting my own horn here, but I think probably Moraine. I would say I'm the closest. Moraine. I don't know. So it's a whole thing. I would
Yes.
say I'm probably closest to Moraine, just in terms of like finding a purpose and feeling deeply compelled to always be working towards that purpose. I definitely identify with.
Okay. So would you say you definitely fall under blue Aja?
Yeah, as much as I would love to be a brown Aja or a yellow, I am blue. So I can't help it. I can't turn it off.
What I do like about the blue Aja too, though, is I feel like they dabble in the other Ajas if it suits what their mission is.
Oh, that's a great way
So
of doing that. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I imagine most Ajas like allow that crossover in some way, but yeah, definitely the blues are the most diverse, I guess, because purpose can be
yeah.
really diverse. Yeah, that's a great way of framing it.
Question: what is the story behind your Twitter of Time account or account name?
Well, I'm sure everyone knows who the Kara Karn is, but also after just briefly observing Twitter of Time, I decided to add Carnival to it, just because y'all are so chaotic. And that is a chaotic celebration.
Oh, that's great. So it's kind of not just the Karn, but it's celebrating Twitter time within your name as well.
Yeah, and just also all the chaos that like the Dragon Reborn brings and like yeah, the breaking and deconstruction of the existing world, and then also yeah, Twitter of Time is just it's just quite a carnival type space. I feel yeah, very
Yes,
very
it
fun. The personalities are infinite.
is. Yes, yes, they are.
Question: what is it like where you live?
I live in the rainiest, grayest city in America. So Seattle. Yeah.
I've heard it's beautiful there, though.
It is gorgeous. It's one of the, I would say, like the most, I love the Pacific Northwest. The landscape is incredible. I love being able to see trees all in the city. That's beautiful. And I also really thrive in wintertime and permanent gray. I don't think the average person does, but I love it. So that is why I live here.
Question: what is your favorite place on Earth?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think Scotland is my favorite place on earth. Like basically anywhere on the coast of Scotland. I just think is absolutely gorgeous, and I hope I get to live there someday. I have backpacked. You can backpack anywhere in Scotland. You can camp anywhere, and there's nothing that can kill you because there are like no bears and no wolves, so it's even better. Um, yeah, and I also just really love Scotch. So it's the perfect recipe for me, basically.
Question: if you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
Um, Teleronriad, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It would be incredible to be somewhere where you can just like think things into existence. I would love to go to Teleronriad, and then I would probably accidentally kill myself in Teleronriad because I'm not prepared for that.
What a way to go, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Question: who is the most interesting person you've ever met? Or who had the biggest impact on you?
Oh, whew. Um, oh yeah, this one's gonna take me a second. I'll probably be quiet for a moment. Um,
in the video, though, I'll edit it so I'll see if I can have it.
no, I want everyone to sit in painful silence.
I can do that too.
Don't do that to them. They don't deserve that. um, oh man, who is Okay, the most interesting or most impactful. Okay, this is probably gonna be lame, but Carl Jung, my master's is in Jungian and post-Jungian studies. Anyone could probably find that if they just search my name. And yeah, that Jungian psychology and his theory of psyche have been deeply impactful in my life. Of course, enough for me to study it, but also just the way I approach the world and the mystery in it has really come from that theory, and the way, Carl Jung like embraces shadow and darkness, I think is really important. So that has really shaped who I am today, and probably also why I loved this series so much. It's like the balance within it.
Now, a side question here. I'm going to do a little add-on, and this might be a little too difficult to narrow it down. If you were to boil it down to a nutshell for people who have no experience with the field of psychology whatsoever,
Yeah.
how would you describe to the uninitiated this philosophy?
That is a really good question. Okay. Carl Jung is a Swiss-born psychologist who originally worked with Sigmund Freud before splitting off to develop his own psychology. Some of his most popular psychological theories are the archetypes or the collective unconscious. Most people are aware of those phrases. I think that could be a good introduction.
Question. If money was no object, what sort of house would you like to live in and where?
I always refer to this as my like lesbian U-Haul fantasy. I really wish I could just meet like a beautiful Scottish woman who is in like a family that's owned a distillery for generations. So they make scotch, and I would just live in a tiny little cottage with that woman on the island of Scotland. Well, not the island, but in Scotland,
Yes.
On the coast. Big spaces weird me out. I feel like very uncomfortable in a large space. That's probably counterintuitive for most people, but I like a reasonably sized small cottage.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. And I like that you put the person in the house as well.
I guess so. I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna go into my U-Haul fantasy. Sorry.
No, it is totally okay. Okay, I'm going to throw a tough one at you that doesn't have anything to do with my other questions, though. So, keeping in mind this fantasy of this dream house with this dream girl in Scotland, how does this tie into you being Blue Aja? What mission would you find in Scotland?
Oh, I think that would be like more of a retirement from my mission.
Once you're done adventuring around the world?
Yeah. Well, I think my mission, and this is when I'm like, oh, am I yellow? I don't know, but like my big drive is like psychological healing, and I do that in a few different ways, and one of them would be like in that fantasy, I'm probably only a professor at that point and maybe have a private therapy practice. And probably just like writing articles and hopefully having an impact on someone else's like desire to learn and to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any just about it. That would be pretty awesome too. And still getting the best of both worlds, living in your dream house with your dream girl, and also still pursuing your goals. I like it.
How does that tie? I'm like, I don't know if it does tie into me being Blue Asha.
Screw it, I just want this house.
Yeah. I'm like, that's probably when I've reached my like burnout point, and I'm like, I don't want to be near other people other than just this beautiful lesbian woman that I've made up in my mind.
Question. What is your dream job?
My dream job is, I have multiple. I don't have a dream job. I like doing lots of different things. I love everything I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm living in a dream. I do qualitative research. I work with neurodivergent and disabled college students, helping them navigate their college experiences. I volunteer for a crisis line. I guess my dream job is just continuing all of that work at a higher level. So becoming like a licensed therapist and also a professor, and just kind of and doing my own research and continuing that. That was a very vague answer. I apologize.
No, it's a great answer. It sounds like you're definitely on the right path to exactly where you want to be. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I definitely it occurred to me like a couple months ago. I just had a moment where I paused and I was like, whoa, I am like really enjoying everything I'm doing right now. Oh my gosh. Sorry, there's thunder, apparently.
I was about to ask, is that thunder or a dog?
Yeah. Oh, that's strange. We don't normally get that level of storm, but hopefully it won't interrupt. I can go on mute here and there too, if that's helpful.
Question. What's something you've accomplished that you are really proud of?
On a serious note, I got my dissertation published. That was pretty big for me. On a less serious note, I've just become a much better chef this year, and I'm very proud of that. I feel very confident in the kitchen.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on your dissertation. That is huge.
Yeah, it felt good to be officially published. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite recipe yet?
Oh, no.
Just kind of everything.
Yeah, I'll make just about anything. I've been making this really good Thai basil beef, but I'm also working my way through the Ottolenghi cookbook. I don't know if you know who Ottolenghi is. He's like a really popular chef in Europe, and his recipes are incredible. They're like a mix of Mediterranean and Italian and European food. It's all over the place, but it's so good.
That sounds good. Can you please DM me how you spell that?
Yes, I will. I'll send you a link to the website. It's really good.
Sounds good. And then I'll post it under the video too, so other people can see it also. I know we have a few chefs and bakers and cooks within the community, so they will appreciate that.
Who did I see? It was Rodel Iturralde. That chili recipe looked incredible. And then Marin Alvier seems like a baker. I haven't followed Marin yet, though, but I'm prepared to do a deep dive.
Yes, he is hands down probably the sweetest person in the community. Like, she is her character. She's just a really sweet. Yeah, did you see where she's sending cookies out?
Yeah, I think I did see that. It was just so nice.
Yeah, absolutely adorable.
Question. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
I just wanted to say thank you, Lil Stink Stink, for coordinating this stuff. I am just absolutely in awe of how you've managed to coordinate bringing this many people together, the chats, the wedding. It's just, it's been a joy. I'm glad I finally got to meet you officially.
It has been so nice talking to you. It's really fun. Yeah. And I look forward to bugging you in DMs, and hopefully we'll be able to drag you into Zoom calls too with the group. I think they will love talking with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us. It has been great talking to you. And just a reminder to anyone watching, go onto Twitter and follow at Cara Carnival. That's at CAR_A_CARNIVAL, or just check beneath in the description of the video. I will put the link there to her profile so you can follow. Thanks, and see you next time.
Do you want to be on Meet the ToTers? I'd love if you joined me. No cam? No mic? No problem. Click the link in the description to see how. Uh-oh! Spoiler warning! If you're trying to avoid Wheel of Time spoilers, turn off the video now. The rest of the interview is spoiler-filled continuing conversation that was edited out of earlier questions. Thanks for watching, First Watt Timers. Please remember to click like and subscribe on your way out. Love you. Question. If money was no object, what sort of house would you like to live in and where?
This is when you're channeling like Moraine post of the books, just her and Tom retire to a nice little cottage somewhere and just relax.
Yeah. Except I would replace Tom with Siwon personally.
Yes, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
gotta say, I think there are many who would.
Oh, yeah. It was so, I don't know if this is like a hot take for people, but I actually really enjoyed New Spring. I know that obviously Robert Jordan's not the best at writing lesbians, but I did actually really enjoy the Moraine and Siwon relationship in that. It was kind of
Yes.
sweet and sincere in a way, and not as like creepy male gazy, but still kind of creepy male gazy. It seemed like they really complemented each other, and like their shared purpose was just so authentic, and like I don't know, you could really tell they had each other's backs basically. Like they were always on the other person's side, and I just found that to be like so beautiful. And then also just just sweet the way. But then having those thoughts, it was kind of weird having like Moraine be like, I guess she could, be with men if she wants to. I'm like, oh, it's just so sad when we go back to let's make it a phase thing. Like, oh, we're all in this school together, so they must like do what I guess people assume women do when they're all living in a tower together.
Right?
Yeah. But then like you just turn that off when you get raised. Like, come on, like that kind of sucks. So
Yeah,
really
the whole like Siwon was like kissing one of the guys up in Paldara, or I think it was Paldara. And it's like, did you have to?
I'm like, it's cool if they are bisexual, but like, I don't know.
It wasn't even like a bisexual or lesbian thing. It was just like but you have something with Moraine.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they play that up in the show, or at least like make it more explicit and up to date, I guess.
Yeah. The lesbian relation, like dream lesbian relationship for the show, is if they cast Bale Dillman as a woman.
Whoa, I love that. I love that so
much. Her, and I can never say her name. Aginian.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Have that be like the ultimate lesbian relationship throughout the And it would be so easy to do. Like there's nothing that says he has to be a man. Like with the other stuff, they're so like gender specific what their roles are and stuff. But Bill Gilman could totally be a chick.
That's such a great point. I really hope they do something like that, please. Now that you put it in my mind, I'm not going to forget. And now I'm going to be disappointed if Bale is a man.
We should start a petition.
We should start one and send it directly to Rafe, and then we'll have Sarah vouch for it.
Lesbians for Bale Dillman.
Is there a Lesbians of Time Twitter hashtag? Is that a thing? I've been trying to slide it in, but
oh, you know what? I have no idea. Have you come across Cassie of Tarth yet?
I have not.
She is, well, her and her warder are like the first lesbian couple of Twitter time that I really know about. I'm DMing you her information right now.
I just found her because I can't wait. I followed her, so I'll reach out.
Yeah, she is awesome. So we should totally get a Lesbians of Time thing going. That would be hilarious.
That would be dope. That was one reason why I really have like enjoyed this community, is I did get the vibe that there are a lot of like queer folks and just all types of folks basically, and it's been really nice to be like welcomed into that space.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Such an inclusive community.
Yeah. It's very uncommon.
Right?
Yeah.
You've like happened upon like this magic that we have here that it's just there's a dozen times a week that I'm just like, how does this place exist? How do these people?
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check my pin tweet for details on how you can be on Meet the ToTers.